Hello and welcome to the conversation. It is your girl, Miss Moi. Thank you so much for tuning into the conversation. I know I've been on a little hiatus. I have been moving and getting things together, so thank you so much for bearing with me and Lipstick Entertainment. Today I have a guest with me. Go ahead and get your page and everything together. And so today we're going to talk about survival in a pandemic. And so I'm so excited to interview him and talk all about his experience. If you are not following Lipstick Entertainment, you can do so on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much for everyone that is watching currently, that will in the future, and that will be sharing. So today we're going to talk all about COVID-19. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's have a conversation. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Dave Nave. I'm the owner of Living Spaces, a real estate company. We do residential construction. I have, been in the city since 1991. Graduated from Purdue University back then, and actually, my degree was actually in genetic biology and microbiology. So I kind of went a different direction than what I'm doing now. But yeah, when COVID-19 hit me, it was definitely an eye opener, especially with my background from school. And then some of the other things that I did.
Now, with your career, we were talking a little bit ago about how you are used to being exposed to different things, being in hospitals, being around a lot of people. And so how was this different, do you think?
Yeah, so in my corporate career, I was a pharmaceutical rep. I also sold medical equipment. So I was in hospitals routinely, in nursing homes routinely, in doctor's offices routinely. So I was always being exposed to something. I never got sick. In fact, when people were talking about how sick they get the cold, get the flu shot and things on that line, just didn't believe in it because I just never got sick from that. And then one day, actually a friend of mine posted on Facebook that they were super sick. And this thing called COVID-19 was in China. And they had just gotten back from traveling, so I hit them up and said, hey, I'm going to bring you some stuff. Brought them some food and things on that line. I didn't even see them. Their daughter came and picked up the stuff. A couple days later, I'm down. And so I've never experienced anything like that.
So it wasn't here and rapid at that time. This was like the beginning.
This is the absolute beginning. Yeah, absolutely. This was actually, I got COVID-19 in January of 2020.
Oh, wow.
And so this is like, so I believe that really, I've talked to so many people and they said, well, I think I probably had COVID-19. We just didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. But it comes strong. It knocks people down, makes people sick in a way that they've never been sick before.
Yeah. And so you went to visit the friend, drop off the goodies. What made you say, do I have COVID? Maybe I have COVID.
Well, at first I didn't think COVID at all. I just thought, shoot, I'm starting to get, I have a fever. My breathing was changing. I mean, literally a couple days later, and so as I kept watching the news, I said, I might have this thing that they're talking about, but it's not here in the States yet. That's what my thought was, but just progressively, I just got worse and worse and worse. And as I, started seeing some of the changes kind of in the medical field, where doctors are like, don't come into the office,
right.
Just call in, and these video chats and things on that line, I knew that was a serious thing.
Yeah. So did you actually go to the hospital? So
so what the process was is that you actually had to do a video doctor's appointment.
Okay.
So I did that. At that point, because of my background, I kind of know a bit about kind of treatment of viruses, of infections and things on that line.
Right.
So I was just doing that. I was basically taking vitamin C, taking emergency. I was just drinking a lot of fluids. Couldn't eat really, which was a good thing of COVID-19 back. But regardless.
Okay.
But doing all those things, and they said, well, really, we can't do anything for you. My breathing was labored as well, but it wasn't to a point where they were thinking I needed to be on a ventilator. But shoot, when I walk up the steps, first of all, it took me forever to get up there, and then I had to sit down for like 15, 20 minutes to catch my breath.
Okay.
That's how bad it was. But yeah, so I never had to go to the hospital, just had to struggle through it.
Okay. Wow. So you dealt with the whole thing at home.
Yes.
Okay. And so what was that remedy process like? Were you trying, you said emergency, vitamin C, what else?
Well, I tried to eat like soups and things of that line. Fluids were really, really important. I mean, I had a fever. I was, first of all, down for just shy of 40 days. Didn't leave the house. I had a fever, like a 102-degree fever that I could not get under control. I would always take cold showers, trying to kind of manage through that. And then the phlegm inside my lungs, just continued to accumulate, coughing and trying to get, So the whole key was just really just kind of just resting, getting rid of as much of the stuff that's inside your lungs, and then just really hydrating a lot. That was really, really important. And then just honestly, I'm taking all the things that they say to do.
Okay.
But my fever wouldn't break, and I got frustrated. I said a prayer. I pulled out a humidifier. I found this humidifier in my closet one day, and I forgot I had put that, and then fell asleep. And I literally the next day kind of woke up, and the phlegm had started clearing, and my fever actually finally broke. At that point, and now it stayed like around maybe 99, 99, something like that.
So since this was the beginning of COVID, did the doctors instruct you on what to do? I mean, did they give, because it seemed like at the beginning of this, no one really knew what it was, if it was coming, where it was going. So did they tell you, do this, this, and this, or were you just figuring it out as you went along?
Well, at the beginning, I was just kind of figuring it out, just based upon kind of what I knew about medications and things on that line from being a pharmaceutical rep. But when I did the doctor's video appointment, they really didn't 100% know. They said use acetaminophen. They said to hydrate. They said you might try these different things.
Yeah.
But they really didn't know. They were kind of just trying to figure out kind of a treatment protocol, for this new thing.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely, they did not give me new information when I did the video call. And I just if it wasn't for the people that came to my house and left stuff on my doorstep and things on that line, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah. Wow. So you kind of self-healed.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So you said 40 days.
Yes. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, really, first of all, I'm a social person, and I had a thriving business, and I had projects going on at that time also, and so for me to be down that long, it's just not something. It's not good for business. It's not good for it's just not something that happens with me typically. So, it's a long time. It was a long time to kind of get through it. Yeah.
So in the 40 days, did you see like symptoms start a certain way and then heighten and then fade, or what was that process like? Like, how do you know for 40 days I'm sick? What was that like?
It literally, within 2 days of visiting my friend, I was sick. I mean, it was, I'm now having a fever. I'm now having a kind of not really a runny nose, but accumulation of phlegm and stuff like that, and feeling a little bit nauseous, that type of thing. By 3, 4, 5 days or whatever, I was in full blown, I'm sick, that type of thing. I had a fever a lot of that time.
Okay.
So I knew, and when you have a high fever, you don't necessarily feel hot. You feel chills. Yeah. I mean, you're shaking and you have chills, and so I had chills majority of that time, and just my lungs, hurt, basically. And so it's you definitely know that you're sick with COVID-19.
And so, what do you think that you took? Or was it all of it together that helped it pass? Yeah,
so I think, first of all, I don't think anything that I took manage COVID-19 at all.
Okay.
I think it helped to keep my body fighting it,
Okay.
that type of thing. But it just, the way your body works is you have to build antibodies.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is naturally taking this invader and then creating these things inside your body to attack the invader.
Okay.
And so, high temperature and all this flame and all that kind of stuff is what the body does in order to get rid of this virus that's inside your body. And so I just think it was a matter of time. I mean, I think that you had to kind of give the body what it needed, and the body will, over a period of time, kind of, get rid of the invader.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, just as time goes on, hopefully the virus kind of starts to thin out inside your body.
So during this 40 days, you are quarantining. Okay, and that's definitely longer than 14 days.
Yeah.
You're amongst family because you don't live alone.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Did they get sick as well, or did they stay away from you? Or did you know that this is contagious? You should be here and I should be here.
Yeah, definitely stayed away.
Okay.
I mean, just stayed really in the room, in the bedroom, and then just separated. So I was the only person in the bedroom. So,
Okay.
And then I had masks anyways, just as part of kind of what I did.
Right.
Within the construction company, the N95 mask, that actually was the level of masks that you use in a construction environment, that type of thing. So I had some masks and things on that line, so people wore masks if they were any place around me. But I think just the key, and they did not get sick.
Good.
Yeah, they didn't get
awesome.
sick. Yeah. So the whole reality is, I think that the quarantining is a really, really important thing if you have COVID-19 or really any kind of infectious type of viral infection. Is you got to definitely stay away from people.
Okay.
Honestly, the mask thing. So certain masks really are helping, and other masks don't necessarily help.
Okay.
The mask that actually, if you want to prevent getting a virus, it has to kind of form around your face.
Okay.
And it has to have a certain filtration. So a lot of these masks that have gaps in them, if I sneeze, it's going to go right around those gaps, and you're going to inhale it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times the masks actually prevent, if you sneeze, from it spreading too far. And
So are you telling me all these masks that we're wearing are not effective?
Yeah. I mean, it prevents you. If I sneeze, and this mask that's like that surgical mask thing,
Yeah.
it prevents the spray from my sneeze to go too far. It kind of, but if you sneeze and you don't have a mask on, then through these gaps I can breathe all that in. So, in essence, if everybody's wearing a mask, it reduces the movement of the virus. But
Yeah.
In general, unless you have like a sealed mask.
Yeah.
That's
so we need one of those
filtration.
Bane masks.
Right. Exactly.
To actually, wow.
You
Okay.
need a hazmat suit with the air source. And
To
everything.
actually keep everything out. Wow,
Right.
I'm happy you said that. So, COVID, 40 days, everyone is away from you. How did you know it was gone?
Well, so when my fever broke,
Mm-hmm.
that was a big thing. And then also when the phlegm inside my lungs started to thin out, that was another thing. That happened to kind of make me feel, okay, this thing is, I'm seeing the end of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had my lungs. I was coughing for at least 2 months after I felt like everything had subsided. Just only because you've done so much damage to your lungs when you have all the stuff in there. And but it just boiled down to I just felt better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what would you say to the people that think COVID is not real? Because there are people like that.
Yes.
That they're like, this is a conspiracy, this
Right.
isn't real, this is a way for the government to blah, blah, blah. What's your 2 cents on that?
Oh, it is definitely real. I was going to look at you and say that. So I have had personally people, friends, associates, parents of friends pass away that had COVID, ended up on a ventilator, or just for whatever reason they didn't get treated and they died from it.
And we know exactly that was the cause of death.
They had COVID.
Yeah.
That is it. Now, thing is about going on a ventilator, there's all these other things that go along with that.
Right.
So if you are kind of a weak immune system person and you have COVID-19 and you go on a ventilator, you're basically on a ventilator, you're telling your body it doesn't need to breathe on its own. And so there's intrinsic issues with that. So there might be, but regardless, the reason why they ended up on a ventilator is because COVID-19 was preventing them from breathing.
Right.
So, this is a definitely real thing. I don't know how anybody would say it's not real at this point.
Right.
Everybody should probably know somebody that's passed away because of COVID-19, whether it be just on TV, seeing the president, Trump, who was a big advocate, thinking he had COVID-19. That should be indicated to all those people that are naysayers that, this thing is real.
Yeah.
When you start seeing it on TV, especially from people that say this is not real previously.
So what would you give suggestion-wise for people that maybe haven't had it, haven't experienced it, or their peers and people around them haven't, to kind of prevent this outside of this Bane mask?
Right, exactly. The social distancing thing, I don't know. I think if you're going to get COVID-19, if you're exposed to it, you're going to get it. If you're 6 feet away from somebody or right next to that person, that little small distance, I think what happens is you have to create some kind of protocol when there's a pandemic like this is happening. So you have to create some kind of wear masks 6 feet apart. There has to be something created by the government in order to manage the people around so they can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, if you know you're sick, stay away from people.
Okay.
If I'm personally vaccinated, did the 2 vaccine process, and but prior to being vaccinated, I had antibody testing, and I was high in COVID-19 antibodies.
Okay.
So I didn't get the vaccine because I needed to have more vaccination. I got the vaccination because other people around me also, I wanted them to feel comfortable about getting the vaccination. And even with the vaccination, you still could be a carrier for COVID-19. It's just that if you get it, then your body's response will be lower because it's already kind of fighting it off.
Yeah.
So, but you can still give COVID-19 if you get exposed to people around you. You just won't, have it.
So based off of that, you can get COVID more than once then?
Well, I believe so. I think COVID functions more like the flu virus or something like that. Okay. Versus maybe chickenpox.
Okay.
Chickenpox.
What happened to chickenpox?
Well, everybody got vaccinated.
Okay.
So that virus. So both viruses.
Okay.
But COVID-19. So chickenpox stays pretty stable.
Right.
This is a chickenpox virus. It's the same.
Yeah.
COVID-19 or also the flu, which a lot of people influenza, changes. It actually mutates every single year. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
This COVID-19 is probably COVID-21 now or something like that.
Yeah.
But this Delta variant, you're starting to hear that. That's just a mutation of COVID. If you look at a can of Lysol, it lists COVID, not 19, but COVID on the can as one of the things that it kills. So COVID is not new. It's been around for years and years and years.
Yeah.
This very virulent thing that we've experienced is COVID-19. Just is a new thing, and this Delta variant is a new thing. So I think that chickenpox, vaccinate one time and you're done. This COVID-19 is probably you're probably going to have to get vaccinated annually, really.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think just with everything that's going on, we have lived through a pandemic. And that in itself is just mind-blowing because I don't know if I wasn't paying attention in school or what, but I just don't recall people talking about pandemics, living through and they were like, oh, no, there was one in 13 or whatever they're saying. I'm like, I have no recollection of this. And so I think that people should take it seriously because they wouldn't shut down the world
right.
if it wasn't real.
Right.
especially New York, that's
Right.
like that's our place.
The hub, right.
You know, so for that to shut down, it's like really a real thing. So you're like, okay, got to have the correct mask, vaccination if that's what you want to do. What about vitamins? Because people think if you take turmeric, if you take different things, it'll help. What do you think?
You know, I think you can't go wrong with vitamins and eating right. And, you know, I eat everything. You know, so I'm not the example of eating right type of person. But definitely I take vitamins. And, you know, I think that I don't know what vitamins are going to be the right immune boosters for something like COVID-19, but I think that, you know, definitely you can't go wrong by taking vitamins. You know, you can't go wrong by, you know, eating certain foods and things like that.
Did you have any physical changes after COVID? Like, I know you said you coughed for several months.
Right.
Was there anything else that you noticed in your body and your breathing that changed permanently moving forward?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I have heard people say that, like, their sense of, you know, smell and taste, they never got that back. I've heard others, you know, say different things, but I wasn't affected that way.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. I wanted to interview him as a survivor today because COVID is out here. It's real and it's affecting us, especially our community. So I'm happy that you came in and you gave your story. So moving forward, what do you know about the Delta variant and how is that? You said that's like a mutation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens with a virus? So a virus itself it is basically, you know, within your cell you have RNA, DNA. So virus will integrate into your genome, and it basically will. That's how you kind of get sick. I can kind of explain it more, but what happens is when you have an antibody in your body, it actually takes this virus and different components of the virus, and it creates this thing that attaches to the virus to make the virus subside. So what happens is the virus then will change certain factors within its genetic, you know, material to make this antibody that was previously there not recognize it. So now a new antibody has to kind of come up and be created for that new virus or that changed virus or what have you. So so this Delta variant, again, people are getting sick. So going back to the question about can you get sick a second time, definitely with this Delta variant, it's not COVID-19. It's COVID-19 Delta variant. And so you could definitely get sick with that Delta variant, even with the vaccine that has been given throughout the world. That vaccine is really not necessarily going to be able to 100% affect that Delta variant as well.
So do you ever think that we will be COVID free again, or is this the new normal? Because, I mean, you got places that are at a limited level of capacity. We got masks, we got the 6 feet rule, we got vaccines, we got everything going on. How long are we going to live like this?
You know, I think that as time goes on, I mean, it just all depends. I don't know. I mean, you know, there have been other pandemics throughout the, you know, throughout not our lives, but previous to Spanish flu and whatever it is. All those other pandemics and stuff, and those are gone now.
Yeah.
You know, so I just think it kind of runs its course. You know, you never know the reason why certain things happen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think, you know, in my personal opinion, just going from a kind of a spiritual side, I think COVID-19 happened to uncover a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, in the midst of COVID-19, so many people started new businesses. In the midst of COVID-19, all this racial injustice stuff got exposed by high-level people. And this COVID-19 thing, so many things happened.
Yeah.
And I think that though COVID-19 is a bad thing, it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
In different ways. I mean, so I don't know.
That.
Yeah.
It's all working together. I say that all the
really
time.
Is. Yeah, it really
like
is.
That.
It really is. So I don't know. And I guess until y'all get your act together, it's going to keep on going on. You know, until whatever our bigger purpose is fulfilled.
Yeah. And what I love about your story is you had COVID when no one knew what it was. Mm-hmm. You were probably spazzing out.
Right.
But now that you have been through this process, you can probably other people like this and tell people your experience, and now we have a name for it, and you know you're not an alien.
Right,
This is a real thing.
Right. Well, I don't know if I'm not an alien or not.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, go ahead and promote your business while you're on here and tell them a little bit more about yourself so they know how to find and follow you if they want some more advice or if they just want to come and spend a coin or two and talk to you.
All right, absolutely. So I've been in business really since 1993. Started out just accumulating rental properties and built a rental portfolio of about just shy of 100 rental properties. From that, the construction company came about. The construction company's name is Living Spaces, LLC. You can go on our website, Living Spaces, the number 4, the letter U.com. And I have a 16-person team. We have everything under one roof, so electrician, plumber, HVAC, painters, drywallers, framers, all that. So any of your renovation needs, we can definitely take care of them. Yeah.
That was great. Nice little commercial.
Okay.
Thanks so much for coming on the conversation today and sharing your experience. It was awesome. Thank you, Dave.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the conversation. Catch me again tomorrow, same place, same time, with a new guest. See you soon. Bye, guys.